Google is 21 years old and it is in the midst of a midlife crisis. There are three signs. The first one is that Google's business is maturing. It uh, has it has been running against the growth constraints in search and online ad businesses. Its market share in search ads is around 90%, and discovering new gold mines has been difficult. The second sign is that uh, Google's corporate culture is changing. Um, Doing things from the bottom up was very successful in Google's early days, but it has become inefficient as the workforce has grown larger and less like-minded. Uh, Squabbles often break out over everything, from serving meat in cafeterias and gender politics to Google's sale of technology to police forces. The last sign of lost youth is the attention of trustbusters. This week, along with the bosses of Amazon, Apple, and Facebook, Google's chief executive Sundar Pichai was grilled in Washington D.C. by lawmakers who fret that America's tech giants need to be constrained because they are so profitable. The attention of trustbusters has long looked inevitable. As tech giants have grown, so have its interactions with government as an institution to lobby as a customer, and as a regulator. Mm. For example, America's Justice Department is poring over Google's online ads businesses and may soon file an antitrust lawsuit. So Google is faced with a big challenge to be both innovative and mature, uh, so that it can overcome its midlife crisis. How should Google respond uh, when history is littered with failed attempts? Google have three choices. The first one is to uh, trust managers. In other words, become a more tightly run conglomerate by hiring expert managers to run its divisions. The archetype of his approach is GE in its heyday under Jack Welch, who persuaded shareholders that sprawling businesses could also work well if they are run by expert managers. Uh, but it turned out that GE was hiding its weaknesses in industrial units by relying on a successful financial unit, which is GE Capital. So GE's subsequent woes show the danger of relying on one hugely successful division to subsidize less profitable ones elsewhere, as Google does with online ads business. The second option is to trust investors. Uh, it means um, it means spinning off, selling, or closing of some units and returning the money to investors. Uh, it this option has many benefits. For example, it would please many investors, and spinning of YouTube would increase competition in online ads business, which is handy soap to regulators. But the danger is that as the experiences of firms like AT&T and IBM show, mm, downsizing hollows out innovation. Also, uh, Google might want to retain its distinctive culture by reducing its size. Uh, but the truth is that Google is no longer a startup. The last choice is the last route is to lean on the gigs to become a glorified venture capital outfit has appeal, but uh, the wolves of SoftBank's Vision Fund warn of hubris. So, uh, so that means Google should learn from its elders. It should learn how to older tech companies deal with their own midlife crisis or and near-death experiences. Uh, Microsoft, which is nearly broken up by antitrust busters, and Apple, which spent years in the wilderness before Steve Jobs reinvented as a maker of portable devices. Uh, Both bounce back by rediscovering their core purpose and applying it in a new way. Uh, Microsoft has reinvented itself as a provider of cloud based software services and tools, and Apple, um, uh, previously known for its elegant, easy to use computers, uh, has applied its genius to smartphones. So the question is, could Google similarly identify what it does best and apply in new areas? Uh, Google could decide its mission is helping consumers extract their personal data for goods and services, or um, solving more of the world's problem using AI, or being the data processor of net-enabled gadgets. At the moment, Google is betting on almost everything. So the best advice for Google is to slim down, decide what matters, and follow the dream.